Hello and welcome to Le Mans Legends, where we are racing for the Ferrari 488 GTE 2016. Now we're going to skip a lot of the initial races. Let's get to something that's confusing for people. It says to be at least in second place from being eliminated each sequence and win. And so it's kind of confusing because it sounds like you could finish this in second place, but then in the second loading screen it does say you have to win. So I've got to be, right now, I've got to stay in third place because fourth place is still active, okay? So I'm second position from last is how I should have said that. Second position from last. He's gone, now I can overtake the next guy, okay? So I'm going to do that here. I'll get over, these guys are side by side. Come on, I'm going to break this up a little bit, you guys. Come on, quit being so cozy. If you hit a guy like that, he's going to hit the brakes. I just went over and gave him a little bit of a tap there. And then he's about to be eliminated. Now I have to be ahead of this guy because that's one place away from being eliminated, okay? So the wording's kind of strange, but we're just going through this one so you can see it. The initial races, just don't do any more than you have to. So if it says finish in at least fourth place, finish in fourth place. Kind of just typical things that you do to keep the targets low. There, now I'm just gonna stop because he was already eliminated. I know that looks silly, but we're going all the way forward into stage 5, where we start running through a little bit more difficult stages. Not a lot, honestly. You can go a long way before you need to get any upgrades at all. This one, I was surprised. So I've got no upgrades. And as you can see, this is my second run. I blew it the first time around. So you do kind of have to push it. So we're going to go through this because it gives you a good indicator of what you need to do if you're trying to do this with no upgrades like I was. By the way, that's impossible, so maybe don't bother wasting your time here, but it is still good. The nice thing about running with no upgrades as long as possible is it does usually force you to do the minimum. Like you can't necessarily go all out and win by huge amounts, so that helps to keep the targets lower going forward. That's the reason why we do that. That's the manipulation of bots, so that you try to keep the targets low going forward. So my mistake on my first lap was I completely lost it getting onto this section here, onto the Mulsanne straight. You can see I made up a pile of time. Now watch this corner if you haven't seen my videos before. That's not off track in Real Racing 3. I know it's off track, it should be off track. I don't know why it's not, it's just not. So you're shaving off some more time if you know that. So, I mean, obviously I knew that my first run. And same with this next chicane. There's a section that, not as much. This is definitely not as forgiving as the first chicane. So you'll notice here, this will look a lot more on track. Like there, I'm pushing the curb a little bit. Not much. Pushing the dirt a little bit here. Not much. And pretty well the rest of this. Well, coming up on this next corner, you can go very far over to the left. And the reason why you do that is to make the corner wider. The wider the corner, the less you have to slow down. So I'm going to take, this is a sharp corner. Like that's like, it's not super sharp, but that's a pretty sharp 90-degree corner. So I made that a lot wider. And same with the two corners that are coming up. Like not these shallow corners. I'm talking about the left-hand 90-degree and the right-hand 90-degree. You definitely want to make those as wide as possible. Now again, I didn't want to do, like doing a whole bunch of separate videos was just going to be kind of crazy because it's a really long event, and there's some great earnings because of all the long races, but a lot of it was just no challenge. Like, a lot of it was just passing races my first try without really any effort at all. This is the first time I ran into trouble. So I thought, well, if I ran into trouble, maybe some other people did as well. So we're getting into the more technical part of Le Mans, into the Porsche curves and all that stuff, and you can see I've already shaved off quite a lot of time. And you can brake pretty late, like very little braking there. That's very little braking. And then I'm going to drive this pretty hard through this section here. And a little bit of braking here. And then I'm going to take it full throttle till the last chicane. And I'm going to drive it in kind of deep. So, 3.5 second lead, I'd say, something like that. About 3.5 seconds from my Ghost, who failed. So I was a little bit worried. He definitely can't go off track. So here you can push it more than you think you can. Now here I did way better. So there you go. Not so bad at all. Let's get on to something else here. So again, we're skipping that race. And even now, I started to get a little bit impatient. So this one's difficult though. Like, so don't overdrive it at the start. Now, you do get the maximum amount of gains right at the start, but don't go too crazy. You only get away with one skid. We're not doing this whole race. It's way too long. It's like 6 minutes and 51 seconds for me when I did this race. So we're not going to do the whole race, but we're going to do a decent chunk because I'm going to show you how I make my way through traffic. Part of it is know where the bots want to drive and how they want to drive. So these back markers, they're going to brake really early. This gets way too messy, way too wide. So I'm having to slow down. Now, they like to take this corner wide and overbrake it. Now, this is just messy. Like, what? I mean, too wide. It's a gaggle. I'm frustrated because I want to get by this. But, oh well. We're going to start zipping ahead here. Oh, I wasn't expecting that. But let's just zip ahead. So here I'm starting to get overtaken again. That's okay. I'm braking a bit later, and then here's the advantage. I take this and zoom, get a couple more. Let's zip ahead to the next chicane because it stays about the same. I was doing some blocking there. Sometimes you have to know where they want to drive and drive right there. There's some more. We'll go ahead a decent chunk here. There we go, 16th place. Not going to get anyone here, so let's jump ahead a little ways to, we're going to quite a lot further. There we go, now I'm finally getting that guy. And we'll let the rest of this play out as I get into the technical section. And then we'll just end it. But, you know, this is already into lap 2. Aim to not skid at all. So drive it so you're not going to skid at all. Just don't take a chance. Because sometimes if you get a bad enough skid, you might get 2 skids in one. And that would be bad. So you just don't. Because you're going to see, this isn't difficult. Like, I still have a whole lap to go, and it's not hard for me to get into 14th place already. And that's more than I need. I've just started to get a little bit impatient. I just thought, finishing 8th place is about the same as finishing 13th place as far as how much more difficult it will make the bots. So I'm not worried about that, finishing like 8th or something. Like, look at this. Let's just zip ahead and end the race. Basically, I ended the race in 9th place. And there we go. That's what I decided to do. Way more than I had to. That's okay. This one's interesting. You can't go over 310. So that gets tricky. So that means that we've got to really make use of the technical sections of this track where the bots do really bad. Now, of course, right now it's kind of sucky because there's a gaggle. But you got to try to take advantage of the gaggle. I can't remember if it said anything about no off track, but what my new goal is in this game, I've been doing this for the last few events, keep this on track and as legit as possible until I can't. So I'm not going to do pit maneuvers on guys and do off-track cuts until I feel like I have to. Like, if the options are off-track cuts or pit maneuvers versus buy more upgrades, I'm going to do the pit maneuvers and off-track cuts. I'll do whatever it takes to show you how to do this with less currency. Woo, slipping there. Good thing that doesn't matter anymore. So already I've made a lot of forward momentum though. And look at that. Nice drive out, give him a big smack because he was about to start to get away from me. So big smack like that, slowed him down. And look though, see he's gaining on me. So I'm gonna block him. Look at this, I just hit 310. Definitely don't wanna go any faster than that. So I'm controlling him into the braking zone here. Because I can't go over 310, right? And here's Zoe, let's see if I can get in front of Zoe. I might even do a pit maneuver here. I didn't mean to hit her. Nuts. Well, you can see I drove away quite a lot from 10th place, but he's going to catch up an awful lot because of my limitations of speed. So that's why we've got to take advantage of the technical sections. So a technical section is going to be the chicane coming up. I really want to get around Zoe this time. There we go, scrape across her nose. She'll hit the brakes a little bit. Magnus, I really want to get in front of Magnus. Magnus is my nemesis. I mean, he's everyone's nemesis because he's after all of us. He treats us all horrible. But I really need to get around Magnus. I just can't have him beating me. Even if it means I'm finishing a little bit higher than I should, I'm not okay with him being in front of me. If I have the chance, I will get in front of him. Now look at Zoe. She's going to start gaining. Like, I took that corner way better than her. But look at this. We equalized. Now she's starting to gain. and I'm about to hit the place where I've got to be letting off the throttle. So it's kind of tricky to watch the throttle and watch your race lines and watch the bot behind you. Zoe's really catching up. Oh, she's right on me. Okay, watch this. I power to that. Maybe don't watch that. That wasn't very impressive. Watch this then. There we go. That's a better point. Look at that. Huge gap on Zoe. Okay, Magnus. I got to catch him in the technical section here. In all the Porsche curves. Zoe shouldn't be a problem anymore. I don't think. Oh, she's starting to gain a little bit. I'm just at the point where I've got to brake, but that's where I kind of had to brake anyway. Oh, Magnus. I'm reeling him in. See, I can take this pretty fast now. And Magnus is going to really slow down. It's kind of interesting they got Magnus in the Ford. Oh, that's cool. A little bit of a bump pass there. Not much. I think I could get away with that in most... Well, I can't get away with that in some racing organizations. Definitely in NASCAR. That was a very traditional NASCAR bump pass, but oh well. There we go, guys. So I got 7th place. That was more than I needed to get, but I'm okay with that. That's not too bad. 9th was the minimum. Finish in at least 7th place with an average speed requirement. This one can be a little bit tricky if you're not paying attention. Like me, the first time I did this, I didn't pay attention to the lap count and decided to get all goofy at the start-finish line, losing all sorts of speed, and then I couldn't regain my speed. So, nuts to that. So get around these yahoos as fast as you can, and you're really going to need, this is where, believe it or not, it's not hard to be fast on a straight. It's hard to be fast through the technical sections of this track. That's where you find your average speed. And again, if you've been around my channel before, you've heard me say this. Ooh, that's not good. You've heard me say this before. Your speed on a straightaway is based on how you entered the corner just before the straightaway. So it's not just about exit. If you've got a bad entrance, you'll have a bad exit. You can't fix a bad entrance, really. So look at this. Fabulous entrance to that. Fabulous exit. Now I'm going to get my reward. I'm going to get all sorts of speed going down this back section here. And we will not do this entire race, but I just wanted to show you a little bit of it, at least a decent chunk. So I'm not sure if I'll hit speed here, though. It's quite a big speed requirement. So this is where driving, so now I got to be technical. I got to take this chicane really fast, really blast through this. There we go. I could have been faster. I'm trying to widen out the track a little bit, so I'm definitely taking the technical sections as straight and as fast as possible. And then if I have an option, I'm going to take the outside lane of a corner, if it's a big sweeping corner. But you don't want to lose speed by taking an outside corner. Okay, there we go, finally hitting average speed. So again here, I'm going to take this really nice and straight as I can, power through this beautifully. Very nice, then go way over here to make it wide and way back over here. The opposite of what I would usually do. That is increasing my lap time. And I'm going to hit average speed again, and so fine, this is easy now. Let's go to the end. You can see I had quite a lot more than I needed for average speed. Not a huge amount, but still, I built a lot. You can see it's not coming down very fast. So again, not really all that difficult, I didn't find. Okay, so let's see what we've got here. So this is a fuel consumption race. You need to finish at least 12th. Again, I was just getting a little bit frustrated. I shouldn't say frustrated. Maybe I should say bored with the long races, and I decided, nuts to that. Why would I do that? Why would I finish further back? I'd rather finish higher, up. So blocking, kind of aggressive blocking there. Magnus is in front of me. You know what that means. I can't let that stand. I can't let you be there, Magnus. This one, really easy race. We're just going to the end. Look, I had extra fuel, and I finished in 7th place. Now it starts to get interesting. You can't get overtaken. So if you pass someone, you can't let them pass you back. So watch this. I'm going to overtake this guy, but it's not green yet. He takes me back. Fine. I decided to get cheeky. I don't know why. I just thought I would. Well, actually, I know why. Sometimes you even make a big mess. Look at that. He got all tangled up, and he took a lot of the pack out. Now, I'm way further up than I need to be. But like I said, I was starting to find this that I just like to win. And I thought, you know what? I might start pushing this a little bit. And I probably shouldn't. I got a little bit carried away with myself here because, of course, after I overtake someone, I can't let them pass me back. So I'd have to just redo the race, but I decided I don't really want to do that. So here's Zoe, and I thought, hi Zoe, how are you today? And look at us racing side by side, putting some pressure on Zoe. Pit maneuver! All sorts of disasters back there. And let's go way to the end. I decided to kind of hang back and just kind of sit in this pocket here, get myself a podium, but not go crazy. I obviously could have won this race, but I even slowed down a little bit. So I did not find that difficult, guys. Okay, so here is where it all comes crashing down, all right? This is the end of my no upgrade run. Had to get some upgrades. And I was still failing. So here I'm contemplating, what else do I buy? I had already added all R$ upgrades, and that wasn't enough. Now, normally I would buy a gold upgrade that has a subsequent R upgrade, but look how cheap these are. So I did this as a test. I did a cloud save first, and I thought, if this doesn't work, no big deal. I'll do a cloud restore and try something else. So first thing I want to do is not have all these guys in my way. So, I mean, you could go a whole extra lap. You've got to hit speed right where I am. That's the fastest part of this track. But if I don't hit speed, I don't want to have to do this all over again. So I thought, I'll just see if I can hit speed first. So I'm trying to pick a start point. I'm going with my back end lined up with that grass. And let's just see. This is my first time testing out these upgrades. Obviously, I've got no grip-related upgrades, except for, tires and wheels gave me a tiny bit of grip, but mostly acceleration. So here, I just missed it. Okay, I'm not going to quit and retry. I just thought, you know what? Let's just see what happens. This was me training to see, can I do this here or not? So I'm going to go back, and yeah, I'll just turn around and give it another shot with these upgrades and just see how that works. And there was nothing there about what position I have to place. So if this works, then I'll just, I won't make you guys watch the whole race. Like I said, I'll be going through this kind of fast. And you need to take this pretty good. That was good. Now we stick it far to the left. Stay close to that wall the whole time. And now we go uphill here for a bit, so the speed doesn't, it kind of starts to stabilize it a bit. See that? It's kind of stabilizing, and then you kind of crest, and it starts to pick up again. And we'll see what happens here. 341, and the race ends. Very nice. You know what I'm thinking here? I might have been able to do that without any gold at all if I got those grip upgrades. Oh, good grief. I'm just thinking about that now. Nuts. Yes, I could have taken the entrance onto Mulsanne faster. I'm gonna have to try to test that yet. It's too late now. I ended up doing a cloud save between this, so I can't go back. But watch for that. I might do another video. Let's get on to this one. This is tricky. There's some tricks you need to know. So I don't know if it gave you, if it made you switch to manual accelerator. You definitely need that. You need tilt B or tilt C, something that's got manual accelerator, or wheel B, something I recommend tilt B to be. Just that's what I use. So we're not going to go through the entire race. It's 2 full laps, but I'm going to go through this enough that you can really see how I do this. Notice I'm coasting a lot. I'm letting Zoe catch up an awful lot for one very specific reason. Right there. She braked pretty heavily getting onto the Mulsanne straight. I do not. So now I'm going to keep it pinned, and I'm just going to see what will happen here. When you overheat the engine, it'll start to go bing, bing, bing. You can get away with 2 bings, maybe 3, definitely 2, because I did that. I remember doing that. Maybe 3 bings, but after 2 bings, you got to get off the accelerator. You're going to blow up your engine. So I'm going to push this and just see how far it'll go. Because the other thing you can do is let people catch up and just do the pit maneuver a bunch of times on people. I think I have to be in at least position 9. I got off the throttle there early. Just gonna see how much I can push this. Okay, so Zoe, I'm still gapping Zoe pretty good. Yep, still gapping Zoe. Kind of wish you could always see how far back they are behind you without having to look behind you, but oh well. Okay, I'm gonna get close to redlining at this time, so I'm gonna start coasting, let Zoe catch up, and then I'm gonna really block her. So I'm gonna drive more where bots wanna drive. There's Zoe catching up. And looks like this isn't going to work. So let's do the other strategy. We'll do both. Pit maneuvers. Now I want her to bounce off the wall. Nuts. I wanted her to bounce off the wall and take out the field. Notice how much they got on the brakes though. So they saw that crash and they all got on the brakes. They saw, man, this guy's crazy. He's willing to get crazy during a race. We better stay back. But they don't do that for very long. Here comes Eustace. He's catching up pretty fast. And when they're that tight, it's pretty hard. Once in a while, a car will dig into the wall and bounce off like a missile off the wall. That's what I'd like to see. So let's see if it'll happen here with Eustace. No, definitely didn't happen. Huh, interesting. Anyway, you can just keep doing that. There's no consequences to doing it. And that's how you can control if people get too close to you, do the pit maneuver. And that's kind of crazy, I know. It's not normal racing, I know. But it works to get past this stage. So there we go. And can't remember if I mentioned this or not. I did spend 40 gold, but you get 40 gold back during the event. And so basically I didn't end up spending any gold because I got it all back. And then of course I earned fame. And oh well. Again, I'm going to see if I can test this. We just skipped ahead a lap. You might not have noticed it. Here's the end of the race. All right, let's get on to the next one. Okay, this one can throw you for a loop. It says do this in a minute 40, but you've got like a lap and a half to go. So that's crazy. It's not actually a lap and a half, don't worry. It says you can only be going 95 kilometers an hour at the start-finish line. So don't worry about that either. Now, I don't remember what it said for a position requirement. This, I was not expecting. I just wasn't expecting him to be braking that heavy. So my windshield's wrecked. Oh well. Quite a lot of these were quite easy, and I just did them my first try. So this is my first try. Here's a Ferrari, and I thought this is interesting. Watch. I didn't hit him, but he got out of the throttle. So years ago, when they started messing with bot programming, the bots got a lot more lane sensitive. Like they are a little more respectful of the lane, especially if you're in the lead. And I like that. I mean, he saw I was going for it, so he got out of there, which is interesting. I thought bots were supposed to go for gaps. I mean, come on, man. Oh well. And there's the Ferrari. Of course, this is all about Ford versus Ferrari, right? That's a really good movie, actually. If you haven't seen it, I own the movie. I really like it. Watched it a couple of times already. And that's what we're looking at here. Ford versus Ferrari. So pretty classic remake. Ooh! Okay, well, obviously this isn't really all that difficult because that's a massive mistake, and I'm showing it to you, which means I'm going to finish this race because I don't tend to waste your time and show you a whole bunch of attempts that go nowhere. So yeah, I'm just going to blast through the chicane. It's not normally what I do in these events. Usually I do it as by the books as possible, but I don't really care right now. It's kind of getting a bit long, drawn out. And there we go. I'm in 8th place. Great. Oh, we're going to slow down a lot. And oh gosh, that's funny. Did I still get 8th place? 1st place? Oh. Okay. I didn't realize that. That's funny. So it doesn't matter where you finish, you get 1st place. This one, I'm trying to remember if this one was difficult or not. 18 units of fuel. And ooh, we got a whole bunch of gaggle of different types of cars here. Ooh, and I'm slippery. So get by this guy as quick as we can. 1 lap and a bit, like 1 and, I don't know, over a lap to go. I don't like having these, they're not even racing cars. What are they doing here? Like this car belongs in Le Mans, but not that goofy Ferrari that was there. That's strange. If this is about, you know, a Le Mans race, you don't have cars like that in a Le Mans race. So that's just kind of nonsense, I think. Okay, so you should be careful with your fuel, which means, I mean, honestly, I should be doing a lot of lifting, but this is my first try, so I'm not gonna. I'm going for it, baby. Little tap there because my handling's pretty sketch here. I went with all speed-related upgrades except for tires and wheels, which gave me acceleration and a bit of grip. Everything else is speed. So I've got a car that's really fast and too much speed for its grip, which means I've got to be careful. Now I'm in 20th place. I think I've got to get to 14th at least. So a little bit of early braking, see if I can get all these guys here. Yes, got all of them. Now can I keep it? Got to get up and block him. This is an old event and there's no slipstreaming. I wish there was. Oh, that would be benefiting me right now. Ooh, that's a gaggle. I mean, this guy is all up in my business. Man, you're making me uncomfortable there. Okay, well, I'm going to brake a little bit late. Try to get a few more here. Come on, come on. Oh, that was a little bit too much contact. Okay, well, there's 14th right in front of me there. No cracks, so I should be okay. Now, 13th isn't too far away. I'm going to shut the door on him a little bit. Ooh, I'm getting worried about my fuel at this point. Gosh. My fuel is low. Oh, nuts Saruni. That cracked my windshield. Well, ooh, I'm worried about my fuel. This is gonna get sketchy. Yep. This is gonna get real sketchy. Less than 5 units of fuel. One thing that annoys me about this game is that they've never standardized fuel. Like, you can have one race where you've got 100 units of fuel for one lap, and it just goes by like a bomb about to go off. And then you get another race where there's like 5 units of fuel for the same race, like different events, I mean. So it's like, come on, guys, standardize this. I don't know why they didn't do that. Like, they standardized slipstreaming clock, which is the cubit, the Roman cubit, which is just weird. So they standardized that. I don't know why they never standardized the unit of fuel, but they didn't. Okay, this is not good. Not good at all. I've got to be in at least 14th, and I am definitely not going to have enough fuel. And I got 15th breathing him on bumper. So I'm going to pass this guy, get him on. There, that worked really good. Awesome. Oh, I missed him. I wanted to get in front of him, and I am out of gas. Okay, can we coast this through? I'm going to block this guy. Oh, thank you for that. I needed that hit. Thank you so much, Mr. Vet. What happened to you? How sweet. And there we go. I finished on less than fumes. Oh, that's hilarious. Threats of a big crash coming up, or worries. Okay, finishing at least 6th with no colliding or off track. All right. Long race. We're not doing this whole race. Way too long. But yeah, so get through this carefully. Obviously you can get a little bit of contact there, as you can see, and that's okay. In fact, if you're careful with a pit maneuver, you can do pit maneuvers when it says no colliding, and it's fine, but you got to be really careful. You got to be really delicate with that. It's not necessary though. This is a really long race. There's lots of time to work your way up through the pack. And you're going to see that. You got to know how they want to drive and drive differently. They're going to brake right away, and I'm not going to brake as much. They're going to brake here pretty heavily. You don't need to brake there. They're going to do, ooh, that's fun. They're going to do a heavy braking point at the Mulsanne Straight here as they get onto the Mulsanne Straight. Oh my gosh, I'm all over the place. That is just all sorts of stupid. So, yeah, oops. Okay, so check this out. Not trying to get too nasty with Zoe. I needed Zoe to get into the throttle there. Come on, Zoe. I'm guessing in front of Zoe's Magnus. So let's see if we can get them both here. Second, I'm braking a little bit earlier. So I'm anticipating Zoe's going to be in my way. And let's blast by Zoe, and let's blast by Magnus. Maybe. Not quite. I can give my pit maneuver, but I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to get him a little bit worried. We'll get him at the next chicane. And then it looks like there's going to be a massive gap. So like I said, we're not doing this whole race. It's far too long. I'm just going to show you the kind of like the highlights. Like, there's me getting Magnus. That was still on track, believe it or not. And Magnus goes away. Well, not totally. I mean, Magnus, this is going to stabilize. And he's going to start gaining on me. Quite a lot, actually. By the time we get here, it's probably going to be like 20 meters or less. And there's the or less. But my drive out is better. That wasn't great, actually. Next 2 sharp corners are going to be better, but you know what? Let's just skip ahead. This is very, very, very long. As you can see, I'm fine. And so, yeah, like he's nowhere to be seen behind me. Massive gap. So there you go. I finished in 6th place. I didn't care about reeling him back in. That's okay. Let's move on. Now, these are interesting when it tells you you can't get overtaken. So there's a mistake you can end up making where, like I said before, you pass someone and then you can't let them pass you back. So you got to kind of think that through about what you're going to do here. So I can't let a gauge pass me. So I've got to really, oh, and there's an LMP1. Yikes, that's a Nissan too. Okay, this has me very worried. And there's a Porsche behind the Ferrari, don't know if you saw that. So, oopsie. Now that I meant to do. Zoe, gonna hit you a little bit. Magnus, in the lead? No. I can't tolerate that. I was double checking what it says, but I don't want to tolerate this. With LMP1s in the mix, I'd rather be in the lead. And I gotta think this through. Do I want to give Magnus a pit maneuver? Whoa! Ooh, no off track allowed. Okay. That was sketch. Okay, well, I'm worried about the LMP1s. They're gonna work their way through traffic eventually. I think I just need to go. So Magnus is all over my bumper. Zoe's all over Magnus's bumper. I cannot take this the way I want to take it because of that. So I got to take it more like a bot. I had to block Magnus, and Magnus and Zoe are going to be all over me by the time we're at the next sharp corner here. I mean, already. If I could have taken that really wide the way I normally do, I wouldn't have had to worry about things. But then Magnus would have been totally in my race line, so I just couldn't do that. And now I'm going to have to do the same thing again. Okay. So I'm not going to be able to take this corner the way I want to, but if I can get a little bit of a gap on Magnus here, I can take this corner the way I want to. So let's see if I can do that. See, that's nice and wide, and watch the results. Oh, Magnus got back into second place, but look, much better gapping. Like, at least double the gap I had last time we were in the same situation. And we're about to hit the technical section of Le Mans, where the bots are bad, and I'm good. So as long as I'm careful, I'll maybe overbreak that a little bit, but look at that. Gapping him a little bit there, gapping him a little bit more here. And I'm gonna break I usually wouldn't want to break here, a little tap though. Because I know I went squirrely there a few times. Look at that. All sorts of gains. Because they're really bad at the technical section. And we're gonna skip the whole next lap, because as you can see, I'm just gonna keep on dominating. So I had to win the race because I got in the lead and I couldn't give it up. Oh well, I don't mind. There you go. I won. Magnus lost. Wahoo! Okay, well, this one's nasty. So we were just in the gravel. We've recovered, but our car is not running good. And the tires suck to boot. Although here's what's interesting. It does not feel like zero tires. It's like, anyway. So yeah, I do that. And I mean, this car is just really bad. So get crazy with it. I mean, get nasty. Watch this. Oh, we missed it. But he took out a whole bunch of people. So you can just keep on using, treat it like Mario Brothers when you're throwing turtles behind you. If you don't know what I'm talking about, oh well. I mean, you probably do though. Most people would get the Mario reference. Mario Karts. I mean, use the cars as turtles and just do pit maneuver after pit maneuver and huck them into the wall. Best to do it in skinnier sections of the track. Like around here, you're not going to get much of a benefit other than you'll get someone off your bumper. But if you do it on like the Mulsanne Straight or like down the Mulsanne Straights, and, oh hello Magnus, I'm sorry, but I can't tolerate you being there. Now, yeah, let's keep this going. I'll let you guys see what this is like, at least a good chunk of it. Because it's a more difficult stage. Because no matter how many times you deal with these guys, they end up back on you. Like, look at this. Look at that. I totally outdrove Magnus through there. That's embarrassing how much I outdrove him. But then, I mean, my car is so compromised. And, I mean, the tires take forever to build, but it doesn't really act like really bad tires, which is what's interesting. So look at that. Magnus just totally disappeared. But that's not going to last for too long. I mean, just look behind me here. We'll just take a peek, like 170, 150s. He's going to reappear. And then look at this. Look how fast he gains on me. What I'm trying to see is he alone or is there a gaggle? Meaning a whole whack of bots. That's what I needed to know. So here, look at that. Isn't that crazy? But I'm not going to hit 150. Which means, based on what we experienced in the last section of the Mulsanne Straight, he'll be on me before the next chicane. Pretty sure. Pretty sure he's going to be right on me. Let's see. Oh, yeah. Now, there's quite a gap between him and the rest. Oh, not enough that I have to worry about him. See if I can drive this. Yeah! No! Now we've got a problem. He'll be on me in no time flat. Okay? Time to get a bit nasty with Magnus. Time to get a bit nasty with Magnus. Oh, sorry, Magnus. I meant to do that. Come on. Woohoo! Contact, baby. That was some awesome contact. What? How'd you get back here so quick? Oh, he's gonna be on me before the next corner. That was awesome, though. Like Mario Karts, total score, man. Off the wall. Oh, anyway, I'm gonna have to do some more smashing around here because these guys, it's just gonna be a problem. Oh, it's a fellow Ferrari teammate. Oh well, I don't really care. I mean, I would have to care if I was in a real race, but you know what? Sometimes those things bite you in the butt. Sometimes guys do something for a fellow teammate, and it's like, this didn't work out very well. Anyway. Yeah. So I'm minding my gap. I'm not happy. Now, I know I can outdrive him when we get to the technical section, but I'm just concerned about getting there. Ooh, he's gaining fast. I don't want to go sliding off track here. Okay, that was nice. Nice. Landy? I'm not quite sure. I've never met someone with that name, so I'm not sure if it's Landy or Landai. I think it's more of a Landy. But anyway. If that's your name, let me know. I'm not trying to mispronounce it. I just haven't seen that name before, other than the game, and that doesn't help me all the time. And we're gonna rip through this, to tune, and there we go. So that's how I did it, and that's how you could do it too, if you want to. So this is another one where we just have to finish in 4th. We don't have to worry about the LMP ones, which are in 1, 2, and 3. But we got fuel. Although if that's going to be like the other fuel, oopsie. Nah, I might have to do a bit of saving. That's 15 units per lap. I might have to do some saving. Have to be careful. Boy, those LMP ones are just right there, aren't they? Aren't they? I'm in 6th, 5th, 4th. Yeah. Interesting. So you want to get through this as fast as you can. Remember what they're going to do. They're going to brake weird here. And then they're going to brake weird at the next corner. So that's where you can definitely overtake Magnus. It's great if you've cleared Magnus before. I mean, my rear end again right there. You want to clear Magnus before here, preferably. And let's just see. We're going to skip ahead a little bit. This is, let's just skip to the first chicane. There we go. I was squirrely, but I've caught the LMP1. But I decided I don't really need to play with them very much. Let's just skip to the end of the race. I just let the LMP ones go. There's no reason trying to hang with them. I was concerned about fuel, so I just sat nicely in 4th place and rode this race out. I had fuel left over, so I didn't find that anything difficult at all. Alright, so here we are at the final race where we're supposed to flip this around on Ford and get Ferrari 1, 2, 3 instead of Ford getting 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to do something kind of nasty right off the start here, and he's about to go bye-bye. I'm going to bring a second view for this race, slow down a little bit to the last chicane, and then blast by Zoe and Magnus right at the last part here. Check it out. There we go. I'm already 1, 2, 3. Now, I just have to control them. So either I can, there's an option, recreate the 1, 2, 3 finish, or, who cares, and finish with a gargantuan lead. Well, I wasn't so sure if the gargantuan lead was possible. So I decided I would ensure that Ferrari gets 1, 2, 3. Well, to do that, I'm going to hang back and make some trouble for a while. Then I need to get around them without causing too much disruption to them. You see what I'm saying here? So I know that Magnus is going to catch up to me. Let's see here. Oh, I'm gapping him pretty good. Maybe he won't. What have we got there? Oh, it's equalizing. catching, and I can't take this chicane as crazy as I would. So at this point, I'm worried that these two Ferraris are going to get overtaken. So I don't want to get too far ahead of them. Oopsie. A little bit worried. I need to stay conscious of what's going on at the back there. Oh, I should maybe get out of this guy's way. Yeah, I don't need to slow down too much for me. So there we go. Magnus is still... Magnus is gaining. I'm concerned. Not too much. Got around him. Let's see if I go by Landy. But I'm not going to... I don't want to threaten Landy's line too much. I don't want Landy to get out of the throttle. You know what? They might be... The back Ferrari might be okay. Might be able to hold his own back there. Yeah, maybe I don't need to worry about the third place Ferrari. Whoa, 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 what you doing? See what I mean? See the difference in race line? It's quite something, really. The way they take the corner versus the way I took it. I had way more speed. I had to totally get out of the throttle or just nail Andy. Didn't want to do that. Yeah, I'm not so comfortable with this. You know, I'm still staying close enough to third place that I can go back and rescue them if need be. Maybe I shouldn't worry about it. Maybe I should just get into first place and disappear. Ah, Landy. Okay, well, I'll get Landy at the technical section. At this point, there's enough of a gap that if I cause Landy to slow down a little bit, it's not going to be a big deal. Because third place has got a decent lead on Magnus. And we know that Magnus is not going to do good in the S's, like the technical section here. Neither is Landy. Look at this. This is kind of depressing. Okay, well, a little bit of contact with Landy, not too much. And at the start-finish line, I'll actually slow down, and I'll let the Ferraris catch up. So it won't be what Ford did in real life. Where it was like 1, 2, 3 all side by side across the line, but it'll still be nice. There we go, 1, 2, 3, nice and tight. That wraps things up. So with upgrades 2220101 that cost me just over 1.1 million R dollars and 40 gold, I got back 100,000 R dollars and 40 gold. So my final cost after rewards, just over $1 million R dollars and 0 gold. Bear in mind, I earned a bunch of fame and R along the way. Please like, please subscribe. Thanks for joining me. Bye-bye now.